2024 has proven to be a very up and down season for Red Bull Racing. The defending champions started the year strongly, but the RB20 has tailed off massively, whereas McLaren's MCL38 is now the grid's pace setter. While both team principals prefer focusing on their own team's development, Red Bull's Christian Horner and Ferrari's Fred Vasseur have both raised their suspicions over McLaren and Mercedes' flexible front wings. Horner has urged the FIA to investigate, adding that if the wings are deemed legal, Red Bull will too be bolting them onto the RB20. But what are flexible front wings? Why are they illegal? And how do the FIA measure this? We're taking a closer look in this GPFans Special. The wings on a Formula 1 car generate downforce, pressing the car into the ground and generating grip in corners. Basically, more wing means more downforce in corners, allowing for higher speeds to be carried through them. However, on straights, a high downforce setup becomes a disadvantage as it creates drag. You can think of drag as a sort of parachute that slows the car down on straights. Unless a wing bends on the straights, allowing for higher top speeds, as this significantly reduces the parachute effect. This is where flexible wings come into play. To prevent the front wings from flexing, the FIA has established Article 3.15.4 of the technical regulations. This article describes a static test in which the wings must withstand a load of 100 kilograms. The front wing is not allowed to vertically flex for over 15 millimeters. It's important to note that all teams in 2024 have passed this test. However, teams are clever enough to get the part through the test, but have that same part achieving a different effect on track, leading to complaints being filed with the governing body, the FIA. As a result, the FIA tightened inspections of the wings halfway through the season. During the Belgian Grand Prix, spots were placed on the inside of the front wings that were then monitored with cameras, allowing the FIA to check how much each wing is flexing. It's in Formula 1's DNA for teams to push the boundaries of every single regulation. This year, McLaren have made significant progress, as have Mercedes, and are therefore being monitored very closely. After the race in Zandvoort, Christian Horner mentioned that the front wings of McLaren and Mercedes, quote, look very different from the rest of the grid. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko also stated that these wings need to be looked into. After the Italian Grand Prix, Horner announced that the ball is now in the FIA's court. Quote, obviously, there are tests that they, McLaren and Mercedes, passed, but then you'd have to look at the wording of the regulations. If you remember, back in 2021, certainly around Baku time, there was a change to the front wing regulation. Even though our wings passed the test, it was exploiting air elasticity. So that's an FIA issue, so we'll leave it and trust in them to deal with it. If the front wing is acceptable, then you have to join it. Red Bull's also receiving support from Ferrari, as Vasseur smells potential foul play as well. The Frenchman has stated that the FIA is currently investigating the issue and that the decision that follows must be respected. Beyond that, Vasseur didn't want to go into details, stating that he fully trusts the FIA. McLaren have not commented on the suspicion of a potentially illegal front wing, while Mercedes were quite open in June about exploring flexible components. James Allison emphasized to motorsport.com that the team is developing a wing that passes the static test, but could still flex enough to achieve the desired effect. It is precisely this grey area that Red Bull Racing and Ferrari want clarity on. If we look at the latest news, the FIA has reached a preliminary conclusion based on the camera footage. The international motorsport body stated that no violations have been found so far. However, the investigation will continue through to Singapore to ensure that every team has used the FIA-prescribed camera across different circuits. And with that, you're fully up to date on the saga surrounding these potentially flexible front wings. Feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts on the matter, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, and we'll see you in the next one.